up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Uthenwoldt, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Footballin Show. Today's episode, we're ending our series with the division that literally had no team with the winning record. So, like the worst division historically in a while. The NFC South, Tom Brady's going out party. He wasn't even going to make the playoffs, but guess what, dude? He's in the NFC South, so he made the playoffs. But before we get into all that, Jason, would you like to tell the public how they can help this show? Because we need it.
Yes, we need all the help we could get. If you guys want to continue to support us, we appreciate it. We love it. We love the support. Hit us up with a subscription. If you want to give us some likes, we enjoy the likes. We like the likes, and give us some comments. It's always appreciated when we get feedback from the community. And if you want to follow us for more on Instagram for more additional content, it's the Fantasy Footballin Show.
Thank you, Jason. And like I said, we've gone over every single division. So if this sounds like something that you want to see about your favorite team, you can go back and watch that. And Jason, I think you have a question for me.
Oh, it's time to grill Tyler with the BBQ Question of the week. This is the question that we want to know. And wait, how do I do this? I had this like in my head what I was going to say. BBQ Question of the week. We're going to answer the question that you want to know. I thought that was pretty good. Okay. So last week we had Tyler answer the NFC bounce back player of the year. This week we're asking him, Tyler, who's going to be the AFC? Who has the potential in the AFC to be the bounce back player of the year?
So when you're talking bounce back, I remember at the end of last season, like, who's the biggest draft bust? Who's the biggest draft bust? Everybody's all giving out like, Michael Pittman, this or that. And it's like, no, dude, literally the biggest draft bust was the 1.01 player, Jonathan Taylor. And it's like, dude, you can't even really argue with that. People were trying to trade me. I mean, Dameon Pierce, I was getting trade offers, for all kinds of stuff for Dameon Pierce, including Jonathan Taylor. So you have to start there. Quentin Nelson, and that offensive line had a down year. They got a new coach, hey, maybe that's going to get in their brain. It's from the Eagles. They really value the trenches, and that's what this team needs. So, I mean, dude, and coming from the Eagles, who ran it the most, like out of any other team last season? It was the Eagles. So, opportunity, focus on offensive line and just like, bounce back from, he's got the lowest thing to come back from. So I think that he has to be the bounce back player of the year for the NFC. Or wait, was it AFC?
AFC.
The AFC.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a guy who was for how talented and how young that guy is, and he was a big bust last year, to bounce back to have a better season this year. Like, he still is very talented and can still make a difference for your fantasy team. And Tyler, you kind of mentioned already that the Eagles last year were one of the teams that had the most rushing attempts all season. And then they go ahead and get the Colts went and got the offensive coordinator from the Eagles. So you can only imagine they're going to run the ball more. My only concern with that is they still need a quarterback. And then what quarterback are they going to get in the draft, right? If they're going to draft a quarterback, which quarterback is it going to be? Because if it's Anthony, is it Robinson or Richardson?
Richardson.
Anthony Richardson, from Florida, from the Gators. Oh my gosh, what is that guy's name? Shane Stitchen, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, who are now the head coach for the Colts. What is a player that you could say vultured a lot of touchdowns from the running backs last year? Jalen Hurts. If you get if they draft that big guy, Anthony Richardson, we could probably see a lot more of that. A lot of Jonathan Taylor touchdowns being vultured by this guy, because we're going to talk about it next week. That dude reminds me of a Cam Newton. So there's a little bit concerned with that, but I think overall, if they get a better quarterback than an aging Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor is going to have a good potential to be the bounce back player of the year.
And talk about, those quarterback sneaks, like the rugby push last year. Just imagine if that was Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Anthony AR, whatever, dude. Yeah, AR-15, Anthony Richardson. God, dude, anyways, I was like focused on the blood mark from my beer I just threw. Today is beer time breakdown, where I got my anniversary this weekend. I've got to go early, so that's why we're releasing this video early. I'm drinking on a Thursday.
While Tyler's drinking for the beer time breakdown, I'm thirsty for the Thirsty Thursday edition of it. So yeah, are we gonna head? Yeah, sorry, I'm also getting updates from my family right now.
Mama said, Mama said,
Are we ready to go into the segment, Mr. Tyler?
Jason, the Buccaneers won the division with a losing record. Okay, I think they're 8-7 or something like that. I don't know. I saw it earlier. It's on my
I
phone,
saw this too. Yeah.
and I just realized I was like, oh my god, dude. And that came down to the wire. They didn't think they were going to make it. They were 8-9. Yeah, if they were 8-7, they'd have a winning record. So I'm done. But hey, biggest losses is Tom Brady. He's gone, and he's not coming back unless he plays for the San Francisco 49ers after Brock Purdy re-injures his arm, and they trade away what I was gonna say, Trace McBride, Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
And then Donovan Smith, their left tackle, Jason.
He wants to trade.
Yeah, and he hasn't been signed by anybody. He's he was like a 58. He allowed 6 sacks last season, which was tied for 15th. He had a lot of penalties, 12, which that drove Tom Brady crazy. And he didn't play that many offensive snaps, only 44th. He's 29 years old, Jason, and he got picked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he's homegrown in the late 2nd round.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say their linebacker. Was it
Dude, no, I'm talking about Donovan Smith, because I was like,
I know, but I'm sorry, that was my bad. I was definitely confused on that. We're on offense. We'll get to that later. But do you think they found? Okay, so you said right, Tom Brady ain't coming back. The GOAT is climbing the Mount Rushmore. So they went out and they picked out the savior, they think, in Baker Mayfield, that they got him for the Rams, and he's 27 years old. With him being on the team, I don't know. I don't really see this team going back and winning the division again.
well, this is definitely a rebuild year. They've got Rachaad White, leading the backfield.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if they draft, Bijan Robinson's on a lot of their draft boards and stuff like that. And that's going to ruin that. But it's pretty much, dude. It's just a complete rebuild year. Leonard Fournette, they're not even re-signing. He's 30. He's like 28 years old. I thought he was 35. Leonard Fournette is 28 years old.
He's looked 35 since he played at LSU. So since he was 19, he's been able to buy a beer for him and his friends.
Yeah, they decided to, let him go and pick up Chase Edmonds. But Chase Edmonds is no threat to Rachaad White. I do like Rachaad White, next season. If he remains at the top of the depth chart, if they get Bijan Robinson or some stud, you can, almost see what he did last year and just go off of that. Maybe be a flex or something like that.
Well, it kind of looks like they approved the offensive line, or they kind of worked on it a little bit. They got, Josh Wells. I know he actually left. Josh Wells left. He went to Jacksonville. That dude, he's outie. Yeah, and then they're Dominic Smith, not even 30 years old, not even being signed yet as their left tackle, right?
Yeah, and I just thought it was interesting because they gave him a fat contract a while back. He's making $15 million a year. So, and he's 30 years old. It wasn't, and he was drafted by them, so they believed in Donovan Smith, gave him a contract. But now that they're kind of like in a rebuild mode, I think everybody's going to be. It's not suck for luck. It's not the Tua. I forget what the Tua year was called. Tank for Tua. This is going to be something. Yeah, dude, for the USC quarterback, Jason. What's his name again? I hear him all the time on his
Williams.
What's it?
Caleb.
Yeah. So it's going to be collapse for Caleb or something.
Oh, dang, Tyler. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So yeah, and then I don't even remember. And then they already said that the top 2 quarterbacks for next year would have been the top 2 quarterbacks had they come out this year, and it's from North Carolina. I don't even know who that dude's name is, but So we have Caleb Williams and that guy. So this is going to be one of the teams that are trying to tank. So they're not really spending a ton of money on free agency. They picked up, left guard Matt Feeler, 31 years old from the Chargers, but he's not making anything and he's old anyways. He's just probably a serviceable guard. He blocked for Austin Eckler and kept up Justin Herbert clean for the most part.
Yeah, it looks like they more lost two linemen and were only able to pick up a guard. Their other guard, Aaron Stinney,
Mm-hmm.
29, they were able to re-sign him. Looks like they might gonna have to work on that line a little bit more.
Yeah, they're gonna have to focus on their offensive line, which we can get in a minute. But from the looks of it, they're resigning all their defensive players and just forgetting about offense. And offense wins in this league, and they don't even they're not going to give Baker Mayfield's not going to really have that big of a chance here. It's going to be I'm pretty sure it's still what's his name as the head coach, the guy that the
Yeah,
defensive coach that made all Todd Bowles. Dude, yeah. I mean, it's not Sean McVay, dude. So you're not going to see any amount of success with Baker Mayfield. They're going to tank this year and get somebody good.
They passed the most. They had the most passing attempts last year. Their rushing game was garbage. They had really they weren't making much of it, so they were throwing the ball a lot. They were last in the league, they were only producing 75 rushing yards a game. And now you're going to have Baker Mayfield back there. You can't rely on him just to go out and do what Tom Brady did and just pass the ball 50 times a game, every game. And with the losing of linemen and already having a bad running game to begin with, it does not look well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it kind of sucks because you got people on there like Mike Evans, that guy can still play. You got Chris Godwin, that guy can still play. But how much are they going to be valued now with Baker Mayfield throwing them the ball?
And man, I've been looking at ages for so long, and it's so crazy to look at the top of this list and see Tom Brady, 46 years old, man. That is such an outlier.
I know.
I know. Dude, Julio Jones is gonna be 34. I mean, I'm 37. Jason, you're 36, you young bastard.
Yeah.
But Julio Jones is so, man, we've been into football for so long. It's crazy. Getting into defense though, Jason, you hit it right off the bat. Well, they re-signed Levante David. He's 33 years old, that linebacker, and he was integral. He was a huge part of their championship run.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. This is more of this is almost like the Seattle Seahawks re-signing Bobby Wagner. It's whatever.
Yeah, I can't. What is that other guy's name? I can't think of. I want to. It's White. The Batavia. No, Devontae White. He used to play for
Devin. It's Devin White or something.
Yes,
I think he's a young linebacker there.
He requested a trade. He wants out. He sees what's going on in Tampa Bay. He's like, I don't want to be here for this. I still got years ahead of me.
He's 25 years old, and he's like the insane dude.
Yeah, he wants out. He requested a trade, so he's probably going to be leaving.
I mean, that's what they give him up, but I mean, if they're rebuilding, they can get a first round draft pick for him or something.
I mean, he's pretty talented. I just don't think he wants to spend his years, wasting away while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are rebuilding. There was a lot of things going on the defensive side too. What am I seeing here? That they lost their defensive tackle Raheem Nunez Roches.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Giants. So, and they also lost another defensive tackle. Oh no, they got this guy is actually pretty decent. I kind of like this guy. He was a defensive tackle, Greg Gaines. He's 25. They got him from the Rams. I think that's going to be a good addition to that defensive line, actually. And then, yeah, you already talked about David. And then outside linebacker, Anthony Nelson, 26. He also re-signed too.
You said you were talking about Greg Gaines, Jason?
Yeah, Greg Gaines.
Yeah, and then they picked up a couple safeties. One from, the Chiefs. He's 27. Played 72% of snaps. And then one from that young, ascending Seahawks secondary. He's 28 years old and played 61% of snaps. So he's probably, getting pushed out by the young dudes because they hit on their draft picks last season. But I mean, anytime getting a secondary dude from the Seahawks isn't bad. And the Chiefs have had a pretty decent secondary for a while. So, I mean, I think they're just trying to stay afloat. Like I said,
Bare minimum.
yeah, they're just kind of going through the motions or whatever.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those divisions next year. This this division is probably going to be just like the AFC South. They're just going to be that division. Even I mean, AFC South. At least they have the Jacksonville Jaguars. But this is going to be a struggling division for this next year. And like I said, it kind of sucks because they have fantasy value on their team. Is just like when you got Baker Mayfield. It's like you're not going to get Mike Evans. There's a good chance. But Mike Evans, doesn't he have like 8 or 10 straight seasons of 1,000 yards?
Who does?
Mike Evans. I feel like
he did. Yeah, it was something like that. Now I wouldn't want him.
yeah, I think that good chance of that going to end this year. We'll see what the B guys had to say. I mean,
yeah, and I'm going. Sorry, I was just kind of getting to that, and I do want to say, if you're a Bucks fan, like this is kind of what you expected. It's kind of what you wanted. You wanted to go all in for 2 or 3 years from Tom Brady, and you're punching your ticket, dude. That was it. You got your championship. Pissed a lot of people off. Made people fans, and now you're going to be, in the pits of the NFL for next 4 or 5 years, maybe.
yep. Now you go all in. You got your Super Bowl title. And you gotta wait another 20 years.
And that's what the Rams are trying to avoid. But
yeah.
And then so Jason, the beat writers, number one, of course, they need a franchise quarterback. Jason,
that's not Baker Mayfield has proved that's not him. This is going to be his third team in the last
and Baker Mayfield's deal is a 1-year deal, so it's literally to get them through to next year's draft.
Right. I just need you to play like you do, so we get the last or the first pick in the NFL, so we get a quarterback next year.
Hey Baker, be yourself, dude. Be yourself.
Just play, dude. Just go out there and play.
You
play.
Be yourself, and we'll be a winner within 5 years. Without you.
Yeah.
Without you.
Yeah.
Pretty
good.
Thanks. And then next one, Jason, was I think it was offensive tackle. And so, I mean, you saw this, man. Like Tom Brady, when he had time, when he had a great offensive line, that team was a juggernaut. And then, Jensen got injured. I think Wirfs got injured. This other dude on the, that we're talking about earlier, Donovan Smith, wasn't playing up to par. So it's just like, they need a total offensive line rework. You have Tristan Wirfs, and you don't want to move him anywhere. I would just keep him at right tackle because he's an amazing right tackle. And they'll probably re-sign Jensen. I don't see him on this list. Hopefully he's healthy this season, but dude, they need everything else other than that.
Yeah. Offensive line is going to be huge when it comes to, because you're going to need, there's a big difference between, I feel like we're just beating a dead snake. Is that the thing? Dead dog.
Horse.
I'm beating a dead horse, but there's a difference when you're giving Tom Brady an extra second than Baker Mayfield. You're probably going to have to give Baker Mayfield a little bit more time than you would have Tom Brady, and you're going to have to, work on that offensive line. So hopefully they can come back healthy and they could do something in the draft maybe. But even more evidence, Tyler, that they're going to have to rebuild, get some offensive linemen in this upcoming draft.
Yeah, and I mean, and then everything else is literally defense from these guys. So it's like, it says, linebackers next, and then edge rushers and all that. They had Pierre Paul, all that kind of stuff. But everybody's old on that team, man. And they had Sue. They had to get rid of him. He went to the Eagles and helped them. So yeah, they just need to get young on defense. Other than what's his name, Devin Smith.
Yeah.
So they re-sign. They have Devin Smith. If they can keep him, which they probably won't, they're probably going to trade him. So just in case they don't tank as bad as they want to, they can still trade up and get Caleb Williams or the other dude. But they need to get young up front and on the linebacker position, and even get help in the back end. So everything else is all defense.
Yeah, just going over the list, they lost their strong safety. They lost a cornerback. They lost. Where's this guy? Pat O'Connor. Oh, actually, they re-signed him. He's getting up there too. He's almost like 30 years old. But then their inside linebacker, he's 33. Oh yeah, there's a lot of players on their defense that they're either getting up to an age or just
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
They also have. I mean, they got. Damn, Tyler. They lost a lot of people at free agency that are just in limbo right now. You know, Donovan Smith, you said, Tom Brady gone. Akeem Hicks, their defensive end, who's 33. Leonard Fournette, Cameron Brate, their tight end, gone. Julio Jones, gone. William Golston, defensive end, gone. Kyle Rudolph, tight end, gone. Genova Bernard, running back, gone. Wide receiver, what's this guy's name? Scotty Miller. He was good for those 3 games, gone. Other quarterback, Logan.
Tom Brady's gonna love him. He's tiny and white, you know. Oh yeah, let's pick him up in fantasy. He did terrible.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. I'm not going to see a lot of promise out of this team this upcoming year.
Okay. All right, Jason. So I think that does it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you remember that. But I mean, I work with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I talk to him all the time about football. And yeah, I mean, this is just kind of expected. This is what they wanted. And now, I mean, dude, if you're a Buccaneers fan, it's not like your bar is set that high. So I think if you're a Buccaneers fan, you are pretty much prepared to tank because you've been tanking for 40 years.
Yeah. Might as well just wear those orange jerseys again for the next
creamsicle, man.
Yeah, those creamsicles. Oh, like just make me puke.
I like them. Man, I've been drinking. I could almost make my. I mean, when I did that, I felt like I was like, "Oh God," my eyes started watering.
You're like, I'm actually making myself do this.
Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this now, live. Keep it alive. So next up, Jason, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's
I think it's the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
We'll talk. We will talk about who we think they're going to pick first. You know, first overall, and who we think that they will or who they should pick. It's both the same for me.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get back.
All right, guys. So we'll be back in a flash. Okay. Okay. Is this a camera? Do I talk when it's on? Just kidding. We're professionals, dude. You came to the right place because we talk football all the time. Our wives hate it. I say my wife hates it.
No. That's how you know you're doing it right, when your wife hates it.
All you care about is the foosball.
What about me?
So,
me.
Going over the worst division in football, right? Talked about it.
Yeah.
Buccaneers didn't even have a winning record, and they won the division. So, historically bad. And now we're going to the team that just traded up to the number 1 overall pick, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey's ex-team, the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway we're going to take from this is that the Panthers got Andy Dalton from the Saints. 35 years old. They're making progress.
Hey man, Andy Dalton did not play bad next season, and I will tell you why later.
Okay. But you know, they picked this guy up in free agency, but you also said it too, Tyler. They traded ahead. They got the number 1 overall pick in this NFL draft, and I bet you they did not tell Andy Dalton that when they signed him. But Andy Dalton's probably like, son of a... Kidding me now? He's going to have to battle somebody who's likely 15 years younger than him for the starting role for the Carolina Panthers.
And sadly, I'd say he would be the starter if it was, you know, Anthony Richardson, maybe Hendon Hooker, just while he gets his legs underneath him from that injury. And Will Levis, he would have definitely been the starter. And so it's like, but no, dude, Carolina Panthers traded up all the way to number 1. And watching the film, I would start Bryce Young and CJ Stroud week 1. So yeah, Andy Dalton's going to be there to help one of these two dudes, face the next season for the NFL, get ready for the NFL, pretty much.
Yeah, last year they didn't do too well. They were in the bottom quarter of the league in passing yards per game. They were 29th with 176 yards, and well, they were like circling with 3 different type of quarterbacks last year. They had Sam Darnold, they had Baker Mayfield. I forgot even Baker Mayfield even played for Carolina, so that's like 4 teams in the last like 1 year. And then what's that? PJ Walker all playing.
PJ Walker was awesome.
Yeah, he had a few good games out there. Except the game where I said like it was that Thursday night game in the rain against the Falcons. I was like, start everybody. The game before that they played, they scored 40 points, and that was a dad. The one thing that you were able to rely on though from the Carolina Panthers was their rushing game. They had a pretty good rushing game. I think they were 10th overall. Yeah, they average 130 yards per game. So you could tell they were a run heavy team. They do pretty well on the running the ball. And they went out and got Miles Sanders from the Eagles, who's 25 years old. Miles Sanders from the Eagles, who's 25 years old. He was their guy last year.
Oh my God. You're tripping me out, dude. I was like, I thought my computer just glitched.
I'm glitching. Just do it over.
Yeah, he's making 6 million a year, so it's not a ton, but it's a decent amount for a running back.
For 4 years, yeah. He was a guy last year, Miles Sanders, where I was not big on him in the beginning because every year this guy gets hurt every year, and I'm just like, I'm not going to draft him early. But the people who got him in the draft probably, I can't remember where he was probably going last year, was like 4th or 5th round, maybe. He definitely played. I think he played every game. I think he was healthy for every game, and he played well. He played very well. I think he got around like 10 touchdowns, but he got like 1,200 rushing yards. And now he's going to take that over to the Carolina Panthers, who's also a run-heavy team.
And then, Jason, I want to get into the next thing is what is a young quarterback need? He doesn't need a whole bunch of, same age kids running out there with him as well. So they picked up Adam Thielen from my Vikings, 33 years old. I do not think that he's going to be a game breaker. You do not need to worry about him in fantasy for the most part, unless you're in a super deep league. But he's going to help out the kid, and then DJ Shark for the red zone. Adam Thielen is a huge red zone target, as he hasn't been for a couple of years, but he used to be amazing. But I view Adam Thielen as like, work in the middle of the field, possession wide receiver, and then DJ Shark being that huge red zone target. And lastly, Jason, you need a tight end as well. I've always liked Hayden Hurst, man. Like Hayden Hurst was on my waiver wire show like freaking 10 times last season, playing for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. So Hayden Hurst is a good tight end. DJ Shark still has gas in the tank, and Adam Thielen, I think, is going to play his role as well.
Yeah, DJ Chark is only 26 years old. Hayden Hurst, that's your guy. That's your guy. Now he's going to the Carolina Panthers, and whoever the rookie quarterback is that they're going to draft, tight end's their best friend for a rookie. I mean, you said it perfect. This is going to be a good setup for any rookie, and they already rely heavy on the run game. So this is going to be a perfect setup for the Carolina Panthers and their rookie quarterback. And there's a good chance, they get CJ, if they get Bryce, there's a good chance they're going to be playing to win that division and make the playoffs.
And I do want to say, Jason, that if you're going like zero running back strategy or waiting on running backs like me this year, Miles Sanders might be a godsend, Like, yeah, he could be injured and not play much. Or he could be like a workload, huge, awesome running back. So they have Chuba Hubbard. And, Chuba Hubbard's, he filled in for Christian McCaffrey when he got injured 2 years ago. He did 50-50 with Deonta Foreman last season.
Who's now a Bear.
Yeah, who's now a Bear. But, dude, like Miles Sanders is more talented than all of those running backs other than Christian McCaffrey. So, And they're paying Miles Sanders anyways, and gave him a contract, all that stuff. I would draft Miles Sanders. I mean, I don't know when. I need to do more mock drafts where I'm drafting Miles Sanders. But I think that he's a running back that you can grab late that could way outproduce his ADP.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking up right now too is that I think they had another running back on their squad last year. Remember, I think he was a rookie. He was a little bit of a speedster. Kind of gave me like Darren Sproles type of vibes, and it was Raheem Blackshear.
Oh, Blackshear, that's right. There was a two black somethings. It was the dude on behind that was backing up Saquon Barkley, and then this guy. So
Blackwell.
well, yeah, I don't know, but they were both good when they got opportunities. I don't know if that's
Brightwell?
going to be just be like if he can. Brightwell, I don't remember. I thought it was black something.
I think it was
Maybe
Brightwell.
okay.
I could be wrong. I think it was Brightwell, but yeah, that dude's a speedster. I think in this system, Miles Sanders is probably going to be the main guy, but he's probably going to also lose some touches. But I think it's going to be kind of just what we saw with the Eagles last year too. They're not going to give this guy the ball 300 times, but they're going to give it to him around like probably 15 times a game. He's going to split carries with other people, but I can see him being used around the goal line a lot. He could have another, if he stays healthy, he could never have another 1,200 rushing yards, 10 touchdown year. I can see it happening. Dude's still young. The dude is still young.
You were right, Jason. It's Brightwell, not Blackwell.
Brightwell.
For some reason, I thought it was Blackwell or something. Black
Close.
something. Yeah, but Blackshear, I remember that name, and he did well when given opportunities. He did well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's always a risk. Like is this guy like Alexander Madison? Is he only good because of can he handle a full-time starter? Who knows yet? But you have to roll the dice on these running backs if you're going to wait on running backs.
You got to take that gamble.
Roll the dice, hustle all my life.
Oh,
paid the price. Something, something, something.
Grinding.
Grinding on my life.
We were talking about how well they were during the run game last year, that they were able to re-sign their 28-year-old center, Bradley Bosman. He got re-signed. They got a guard from Houston. He's 30 years old, Justin McCray. So it looks like they're tweaking the line a little bit. I did not realize this, but so, looks like they lost their tackle, Cameron Irving. He's 30 years old. He's in limbo right now. I like
yeah,
him.
he barely played. I'm guessing he was injured because he was, he made decent money. Not decent money, but $5 million. He had guaranteed money at least. So
yeah. So looks like they're making some minor tweaks to the line, but it looks like overall they're going to have the same, like left tackle, right tackle, center. And just the division that we're in, we can see last year, Deontay Foreman had a huge game against the Buccaneers last year. It was like the game that he went off, and then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, we got to start this guy every week in fantasy football."
mm-hmm.
So we already went over what the Buccaneers are losing on the defensive side, and then we're seeing that the Carolina Panthers are keeping most of their linemen, and they got Miles Sanders. He could be a pickup next year. He could be a good pickup next year.
Well, do you think that DJ Moore is going to do better than he? Do you think is fantasy wise? Do you think he's better on the Bears or on the Panthers?
Panthers.
Yeah, me too. So, they lost DJ Moore to the Bears, and we'd think that he is going to be regress. And then, which is kind of funny because I really like Justin Fields. Justin Fields better than any quarterback the Panthers have had any time lately, but that's just kind of the way it is. Excuse me. And then also, they lost Sam Darnold. That's the last thing I want to say, Jason.
Okay.
To the 49ers. And the 49ers could save him. Who knows? Brock Purdy's supposed to be ready by the beginning of the training camp. So who knows? I think it's just security. Sam Darnold's a definite backup.
Yeah.
And then moving into Jason, their biggest signing, free agent signing is Shaq Thompson. Jason, he played 94% of snaps, 29 years old, and we've heard Shaq Thompson's name a bunch. Just I think the casual viewer would even know who he was.
I didn't even know he got re-signed.
That's what Over the Cap says, Jason.
Maybe I need to refresh. I didn't even know. Very interesting. Well, good. I'm glad that they were able to keep him. Huh. Yeah, I don't even. It doesn't even. On my was it Spoke Track, Sport Rack. It gives us a list of free agents, and there's nothing on here about him leaving or being re-signed. So, this is when Tyler knows a guy who knows a guy that could get insider information, because I'm not seeing this at all.
No, it's just I've been using Over the Cat because it's easy to print out and easy to visualize, and so and they're up to date. They do their ages like for 2023 year, not like current. So I like it. But yeah, that's what I've been using. And then Jason, they did get Demir Bird. He's 30 years old now. Wow, that's crazy.
I know. Isn't that crazy how
old he is now?
Yeah, I can't believe that guy is that old. Well, Shaq Thompson, he's only 28.
Yeah, and then Jason Wright. So Shaq Thompson, Von Bell, they got from the Bengals, 99% of snaps for them.
Oh, I see what it is now.
$8 million a year for a safety. So
it's not like they re-signed him; they just reworked his deal. So he was signed; they just reworked it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay. It doesn't even say if it's a SFA or restricted free agent or not.
Yeah, it just says Panthers agreed on terms on a reworked contract with veteran linebacker Shaq Thompson.
So they made that big signing and they signed Von Bell.
Yes.
So it's like
from the Bengals.
So they're getting veteran offensive players, Jason, and they're trying to build up their defense. They are trying to make the perfect situation for a young quarterback here.
Yeah. And then they also got defensive tackle Shy Turtle.
I like that name. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, Tuttle.
I know, Tuttle.
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 Unfortunately, they did lose their Corey Littleton. He's an inside linebacker. He went to the Houston Texans. But they also picked up defensive end Deshaun Williams. So I think you're exactly right, Tyler. They're definitely building up the pieces to have a rookie quarterback be successful in this league, in this division at least, and quite possibly be making the playoffs next year.
Wouldn't take much.
I know, exactly.
So just have a winning record. Hell, dude, you'll make the play. Just be even. You might make the playoffs here in this division. So
yeah.
Everything I've heard of is like, say they draft, if they whoever they draft is probably going to be the best quarterback in this division, Jason.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If I remember right, the Saints, the Panthers, and Atlanta, they all had the same record, and it was like one win less than Tampa Bay. So what'd you say? Tampa Bay they had 9 wins.
Yeah,
9-7. So like Carolina was
no, they were 8-9.
8-9. So the other teams were 7-10. 8-9, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10.
It's crazy stuff, dude. I almost just cussed and I said no, Tyler, do not cuss. Hey, Pat. Why can't I think of your name? I've said your name a million times. Pat Trammell. Hey, dude, shout out to you. Thanks for making us feel good today. Yeah. Also, I'm 18. You're our best. Damn. You're our best subscriber, dude.
You're the best fan of podcasts, a fantasy podcast could ever ask for.
And then I read it. I'm like, I'm 18. What?
I know. That's why it's so.
Did I respond to this person?
I know. It's like
you
did click no kids under 18, so this person's actually 18. So it's not some youngin. But it's a hilarious name to put.
All right, Jason, Mr. Jason.
I'll go with the beat writers real quick.
Number 1, a franchise quarterback. You see a theme running through these teams?
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. Franchise quarterback. They traded up. They think that they're going to be, from what I've heard and how I've heard all the stuff about what's his name, dude. What's the name of this guy? What's this guy's name, Jason? The head coach. from the Colts.
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich. Everybody he's worked with has been like 6'3" or over. He's like, you know, they're looking for Jason and I are over.
Yeah.
And then you see Bryce Young, he's like 5'10".
Historically small out of the quarterback position.
Correct. But then I go watch the tape and it's like, yeah, dude, I think I'd want Bryce Young too. Like out of all these quarterbacks, CJ Stroud and Bryce Young both separate themselves. Like they're in a different tier. But just like pocket presence and like all that stuff, dude. Like, I don't know. I kind of really like Bryce Young after watching all the tape. So I believe that they're going to be drafting Bryce Young, but at the same time, I don't think you could go wrong either way. I mean, hell, dude, my comp for CJ Stroud is a Josh Allen. That's, you know, that's not that doesn't have as strong an arm, but he's got better touch. So it's like, I mean, if you could draft Josh Allen, you would. I'm just saying, they're going to have a really good quarterback next 5 years.
Yeah, depending on who they get. Or it doesn't matter who they get, either one of them.
Yeah. And then next up, Jason, vertical speed receiver. So this is what DJ Moore was. DJ Moore is a vertical speed receiver.
They got Adam Thielen. This guy's not. I thought they got their speed stuff. I thought they got their beats. Yeah.
And DJ Shark is not that. He's a high point, you know, like athletic catch. He needs somebody on the opposite side to take the roof off. Take the damn top off the damn defense, Jason.
Maybe that's why they went out and got Demir Bird from Atlanta.
They're like, your name's Bird because you must fly
like a falcon.
Fly like a chicken. I
mean, that's maybe they did address that by picking that guy up in free agency, Bird, but we'll see.
Well, I do want to say this, Jason. Here we go. A middle of the field target is third. So I was thinking that might be, you know, a big body target in the middle of the field. That they haven't had that since Greg Olsen, and they're saying like, oh man, you know, it's where they're drafting would be way overreach. I mean, say they traded up to number 1, so they're not going to draft that tight end, Mayer or whatever from the Notre Dame. Thank you. It's all going to be quarterback. And then maybe, you know, they're just addressing this need through free agency with like DJ Shark. But yeah, dude, eventually they're going to need a really awesome tight end because, you know, they value Greg Olsen. But at the same time, you know, you're not going to get Greg Olsen in this draft.
Yeah, I think they could get a couple good years out of Hayden Hurst. If they somehow could get a tight end.
Thank you. I totally forgot about Hayden Hurst. That's it right there. That's their middle of the field guy.
Yeah. They could at least get a couple years out of him. Remember, all right. We can't hear when we do that.
Can you hear that? You can't hear that?
No, remember we had a little.
Can you hear that?
No.
I was trying to do the Mandalorian. All right. Jason, next up, defensive speed. Can you tell that I'm drinking and you're not?
No, man. We're professional.
All right, cool.
You're doing well.
I came. If you want to see a sober video of me, please go back and look at my top 5 things learned from mock drafting. But yeah, defensive speed. And that's like, you know, I mean, ever since Luke Kuechly, they're talking about they need speed in the middle of the defense. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know these guys 40 times, but is Thompson a middle linebacker?
He just says linebacker. I'm pretty sure he is not a middle. I'm pretty sure he's an outside linebacker.
Okay, so they're just probably looking for faster linebacker, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Will Anderson is the dude, but they had their chance to get Will Anderson, and they chose to not get Will Anderson. They chose to trade up.
Nay.
They said, Will Anderson, the next Michael Parsons? I don't think so.
Okay, before we end, that's the end of the beat writers, right?
Yeah.
All right, who do you think they should get, and who do you think they're going to get?
I think they should get Bryce Young, and I think they're going to get Bryce Young.
All right. Well, thank you. So we're gonna head into the next.
What about you, dude?
Oh, okay. God, I didn't know I was gonna get grilled with questions. Um, I'm the opposite. I feel like they need to get CJ, and they're going to get CJ.
I mean, if you watch CJ Stroud, it's like because I watched both of them against Georgia, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was I think both of them against Georgia. I just really like the way that what's his name steps up in the pocket, because I think that to be like an amazing quarterback, you need to be comfortable in the pocket and then step up. CJ Stroud was always running out, running out, running out, running out. Whereas what's his name? What's his name, Jason? Bryce Young.
Bryce
He'd like shuffle like 3 steps up in the pocket and buy himself like 3 more seconds. It was kind of crazy. And he had eyes in the back of his head, like literally, like Michael Vick. And CJ Stroud did not. So it's like, if you're gonna be that tiny, I need you to have eyes in the back of your head. And he kind of does. So I really like. I will go over all this. I've got all these notes written down to blow people's minds.
Yeah,
we'll go over that later.
I like both those quarterbacks. I don't think they could go wrong with either one that they pick.
I like those 2 quarterbacks, and I really don't like anybody else. But we'll go from there.
I like one other person, but we'll save that for the draft preview. Anyway,
Jason is gonna he's gonna be waiting on the corner for a Hendon Hooker. We will be back in a flash. Okay. Okay. What's up, Jason? This is Tyler. We're back from space, the outer space. Satellites are bouncing all over the place just for us.
You don't want to go to space right now, dude. Did you see that Elon Musk or Joe Benzo, whatever that guy?
I never heard of the second guy, but yeah, I saw that.
His spaceship just blew up after a long.
Oh, Jeff Bezos.
Bezos. Yeah.
That's funny stuff, man. Yeah, I don't like to fly. Don't put me on a freaking rocket. I'm not getting on a damn plane, let alone a freaking rocket.
400,000 gallons of jet fuel under my booty.
It'd be like that. Yeah, if you want to see how I would react to that, just go watch what is that? What's that movie do with Aerosmith and Bruce Willis?
Armageddon.
Well, can I take out $30 million and I'll spend it all? Oh, don't worry, I'll be back with it. All right, so we're going over the NFC South, the worst division in the NFL. We talked about this before. They suck. But we got to do them anyways.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints, Jason, traded for our hometown hero, Carr, and that's what we're going to start off with. And I do want to say, people were like, "Oh, dude, Andy Dalton was terrible last year. Good thing we got Derek Carr." Well, I do want to read some stats. Jason, you ready?
Yeah.
So he completed 66.7% of his passes last season. That was 10th best in the NFL. His touchdown rate was 4.8%. That was 12th highest in the NFL. His 7.6 yards per attempt was 8th best, and he had a 95.2 quarterback rating. That's 9th best in the NFL. So if you expect a huge change for this offense, I don't know if you're actually going to see it. It might be a little change in the positive direction, but I don't think that this is going to be like some huge revelation to this New Orleans offense.
Well, let's take a little look right here. Okay, you gave this stat. I'm going to give this stat. This is well, you're wrong.
Wrong.
NFL player stat, touchdown percentage, right? Touchdown percentage. Obviously, you would think Patrick Mahomes led the league in 6.4%. Wrong. Brock Purdy was at 6.9%. Anyway, last season, Andy Dalton, he's tied with 3 other people. 4.8% percentage touchdowns, right? So touchdown percentage was 4.8. And he was number 15. Number 14, 4.8%, Derek Carr.
Oh, holy crap.
What are we doing here, right?
What we're like, you know what, Andy Dalton, I know you're older and cheaper, but I don't need that. I need just the same dude, just a little bit younger.
Yeah.
No, I think they would have been better off. Like, yeah, I think they're in win now mode. It's more of like Dennis Allen and the GM trying to save their jobs. So it's like, what can we do, man? We need to make the fans happy. We need to like not be bad because like where these other teams are tanking to get great, New Orleans is gonna be kind of like in this purgatory where they're just gonna be like, oh, we're good enough to win some games. We're not bad enough to get it like a top 5 pick. That situation.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for Andy Dalton, especially with that team that he was playing with, because you're telling me like he had pretty good stats. He had the same touchdown percentage as Derek Carr, but both of them. Okay, so when you're starting quarterback in the NFL, please at least throw like 20, 25 touchdowns in the season. Andy Dalton threw for 18. Derek Carr threw
That
for
is weird.
24.
That
Derek
is
Carr,
both are bad, man.
right. Both that bad. They're like, we're gonna maybe upgrade. We could get 6 more touchdowns out of this guy. And they're still back to back. Like Derek Carr is 14th in the league with 24 touchdowns thrown, and Andy Dalton was 15th with 18 touchdowns thrown. So I am starting to believe you, Tyler, and I see what you're talking about. They're getting like the same guy, the same dude. Why not just pay Andy Dalton cheaper? It's gonna be cheaper than Derek Carr.
And I was like, dude, just get Jameis Winston some like, I don't know, group therapy about something.
Yeah.
I don't know, eating W's or whatever the hell he needs, and put him in there. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, man. Like between Jameis Winston and Derek Carr, would I really care who is in there? Probably not. And they just paid $37 million, all these guarantees, dude, everything to this dude that like probably would get you the same production as a Jameis Winston.
Yeah. Okay. So who's Derek Carr going to throw the ball to? Well, you got Chris Olave, right? Michael Thomas. Is this guy? This guy was considered one of the best in the league at one point. Is he going to be coming back healthy?
He's 30 years old, which is like, I mean, that's younger than a lot of these elite wide receivers, Devontae Adams and all that stuff.
I mean, look at Odell Beckham, right? He's coming back and he's like 30. He's also 30, I believe, right? He's getting a shot. I believe these are some of their last years. If this is not the year, ain't going to happen. So Michael Thomas is going to need a big step up. He's got to find a way to stay healthy. He's going to have to hit that physical therapy room. He's going to have to do the thing. He's going to have to play tough. He's going to have to play tough. Buckeye.
So, Jason,
yeah.
You would not be comfortable with Olave being your number 1 wide receiver?
Oh, dude, I do think he has a chance to really do well this upcoming season. Just like I think Garrett Wilson is probably he would be the only number 2 wide receiver that I would feel comfortable. Second year wide receiver that I feel comfortable as my number 1. Chris Olave, just because this is another quarterback that he's going to get, right.
Garrett Wilson.
Who did I say?
You said Chris Olave would be your only wide receiver. That second year wide receiver, you'd be comfortable with your number 1.
No. I said Garrett Wilson.
Oh crap! I'm sorry, dude.
No, you're fine. Garrett Wilson would be the only guy that I would get for a second year wide receiver to be comfortable with my number 1. Chris Olave, I think, does have the potential. I am just worried about his quarterback situation. Second quarterback in 2 years, and it's Derek Carr. And what you're telling me, Tyler, it's the same person. Same person, just different color hair. One's redhead, one's brunette, black hair.
He's got dark hair, Jason.
Dark hair.
The red rocket versus the brown bomber.
The brownie.
He's got.
So, I don't know. I don't think I would feel comfortable with him being my number 1 wide receiver on my fantasy football team that I am managing.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I would really want Olave as my number 2. and go from there.
Mhm.
Jason, what else? I want to say so they re-signed Andre. So a good thing. What do the Saints always have? They always have a pretty good
The
offensive line.
offensive line.
Yeah, and so they re-signed their Andres Pete. He's 30 years old, making $5 million a year. I thought that's a good re-signing. And then what else do you see that stands out?
They got Jamal Williams. We talked about that 100 times. You know, that's going to be an additional person at the goal line. So he's more going to take value away from Alvin Kamara if that dude's even going to play. Um, that's pretty much it on the offensive side.
Who did you just say, Jason? I forget.
Jamal Williams, the running back.
Oh yeah, and what do I think about Jamal Williams? I think that he is not going to be. I think he's going to be like a 7 touchdown, 700-yard type of dude. So
Well, yeah, because they're with Alvin Kamara there, and then Taysom Hill still. There's going to be like 4 people at that goal line.
and I
So
could see them even drafting a running back. Because it's really deep for running backs this year, and I mean ever
yeah,
since they had a Cadillac Williams and whoever, it's they've
Pierre
had
Thomas.
yeah, dude, they've had 2 running backs for a long time. I'm rewatching the league, and yeah, Pierre Thomas and Cadillac Williams come up quite a bit. Kind of funny.
Cadillac Williams
Um,
was good until he busted his knee.
yeah, Cadillac Williams was awesome for a while. And then Jason, you're talking about defense. They lost Marcus Davenport to the Vikings. The Vikings paid him handsomely with their new defensive coordinator from, who used to coach the Miami Dolphins. I can't remember his name right now. I like him a lot.
He
So
used
that's a
to.
big
I'm sorry, who'd they get?
Davenport.
Oh,
No,
Davenport.
they lost Davenport is what I
Marcus
want to say.
Davenport went to the Vikings.
Yeah, and like I think that's a good signing because that Brian Flores signed off on that. So I'm like, oh man, when I see that, I'm like a 27-year-old defensive lineman that got taken away for 13 million a year. Like that's a pretty big loss for them.
Yeah.
And then they did get Jonathan Abram from the Seahawks, and I don't know if that's the same dude that played for. Is that the same dude that played for the
He was the guy that played for the Raiders for a little bit.
Raiders? Oh my
Yeah,
god, dude! So he's just getting passed around the league.
I think it was him.
It is.
Oh, okay. He used to play for the Raiders.
Yeah. And so I mean I thought that was kind of a big deal. But yeah, dude, like they lost Nathan Shepard, they signed Jason Shepard from the Jets. What else? Man, they lost Quintarius Street to the Eagles. They got the Tuttle, or they lost Tuttle. You talked about him earlier.
Yeah.
He's 28 years old, played 50% of snaps. Probably pretty good.
Yeah, they
So
lost some defensive tackles. Um Javaris Landry, he's no longer on there. He's in limbo. They lost a tackle to uh this guy's Ethan Greenidge. Every time I open my wallet, I see lack of greenage.
where's the greenage, man?
Where's the greenage? Um, yeah. Marcus Callaway, that was their little speedster. He went to Denver, but not really much going on with that. They were able to re-sign the cornerback. They got a cornerback, Lonnie Johnson from the Titans.
Oh, yeah, and Jason, like a huge signing, according to the beat writers and stuff, was Kalen Saunders from the Chiefs, that interior defensive lineman that plays next to that dominant player, Chris
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Saunders, he's not bad. So, I mean, 27 years old, they're paying him $4 million a year. It's not terrible.
Well, they got him because they lost their other one who went to inside the division, David Onyemata. David, what's the matter?
What's the matter? That's funny. I like that, Jason.
Yeah, there's not much else going on. I mean, the huge things was just Derek Carr and Jamal Williams and what you're saying, Anthony Saunders, Marcus Davenport. Other than that, kind of a bunch of no names.
Yeah, so we'll go to the beat writers. Beat writers say Marcus Davenport, was a big deal leaving. That's like Cameron Jordan is entering his final year of his contract. And it's like they've got Carl Granderson or Antonio Napason should be asked to start. Yeah, so it's like they don't really have a top tier or mid tier, a startable defensive end opposite of Cameron Jordan. So that's what they need. That's like their number one pick. That's like their number one need pretty much. And
is it me?
Edge rusher is one of the top, edge rusher, cornerback, interior defensive lineman now. It's like your most important defensive positions.
Is it me or like, can you even remember a time where Cam Jordan wasn't in the league?
Dude, I was just thinking about that because I've thought about him for so long. And I almost want to say he was on the league, wasn't he? This TV show that I'm watching right now.
Maybe. I
Chad Ochocinco was, and he's like, "Hey, are you related to like Andre Ochocinco?" It's not often when you meet somebody with the same Spanish numerals last name. What Rafi was hilarious in that show. He saved that show. Andre and Rafi, man, saved that show.
I think I got to like season 3 and I quit.
It's pretty bad. You got to get through. You got to get through some of the stupid stuff.
That's like the first league that I ever saw. First fantasy football league that only have 4 people in it.
Yeah, they're like, all right, guys, we got 6 people on this TV show, but we have an 8-man league, 2 out-of-towners that we never see.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty terrible as far as the fantasy stuff goes on that. But hey, it's a funny TV show sometimes. Number 2, Jason. Wide receiver. So Chris Olave, Michael Thomas. They want somebody to work the middle of the field. So they said
sorry, go on.
They said Rashid Shaheed, who I like, dude. He was on my waiver wire list a lot, but they're just they don't have enough trust in Rashid Shaheed to be like the number 2 dude because Michael Thomas has just been so unreliable over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry actually made his like career when he was with the Dolphins. At
Jarvis.
What'd I say?
Javaris.
Who's that? Jarvis Landry. He like made a career. Sorry, I was just watching Infinity War.
I was like, man, like Jarvis, you should remember Jarvis, Jason. You're one of those big Marvel guys.
Yeah, one of those big Marvel guys.
I fell in love with an AI, and now I need to marry him and have kids.
Yep. I'll make a fake town just so it happens.
Woo!
That's not consent. I don't know what it is.
These are not breast implants.
Yeah, so Landry was the guy that would kind of work the middle and made a career out of it, but once he kind of went to the Saints, didn't quite happen much. But dealing with injuries, definitely different playing scheme than it was for the Dolphins or the Browns. Like, yeah, and now he's gone.
And then next up, safety, Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May. It just hasn't been good since they left or they've been injured. So, I know Tyrann Mathieu's somewhere else now. Or is he back? Is he on the Saints? I don't know. I need to check this out. Because they say, you'd like to think that Tyrann Mathieu can play every defensive snap again this year, and Marcus May will enjoy a better health. But so I guess they do have Tyrann Mathieu. The problem is that he was not healthy last year, and this Marcus May is not healthy as well. So they need just depth. They go into the depths of Mordor to look for the cornerback, Jason. All they could find was Balrog, the fire demon.
Drop it into the fire! No. Destroy it! Drop it in the fire!
That was the worst movie I've ever seen because I left the theater thinking I thought I was going to go watch a full entire movie. Then I watched the movie theater, been like crying. Gandalf just died. I don't know when I'm going to see it again.
Fly, you fools!
Fly, you fools!
Yeah, well, they need to go after some safeties. They picked up Jonathan Abram from Seattle, and then
good eye, Jason. Good eye.
And then they also, but they lost Justin Evans. He went to Philadelphia, so looks like they're still working on it. I don't know how much trust there actually is with Jonathan Abram.
And then next up, lastly, running back, the Jamal Williams signing is very exciting, they say. But who splits the carries with Jamal Williams, when Alvin Kamara is suspended for 6, 7, 8 games, who knows?
Mark Ingram.
Yeah, right. And it's like Mark Ingram has been okay. He's 34 years old now, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, he's not even on the team anymore.
yeah, I was gonna say he was the next Emmitt Smith, and he became the next Emmitt from the retirement home. I think he's some white dude with a mustache.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for the Saints, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like we got one more team, and then we're finally going to be done with the wants and needs of the divisions in the NFL.
And if you've wanted and needed this segment to end for us, you're in good luck because this is the last one.
Yep. And then we're moving on to bigger, better things.
Going to the draft, the real draft, the mock draft, then who knows what's next?
I don't know what's next. We got to figure that out.
If you like us, please let us know in the comments because we literally don't think anybody makes it this far in these videos. So
it'd be great.
Let us know if you're here.
There might be some money in it for us.
Okay. What's up, fantasy people? This is Banjo the dog, and he hates you. If he sees you, he will bite you. That's how he's trained. Dang. I'm just kidding. If you see this dog, come and say hi to him and I. We love you.
Lawsuit pending.
So we're talking about the NFC South today. I'm drinking. Jason's not. If you can't tell, if you got this far, man, you probably already know.
Right.
So we talked about this is the worst division in football. Everybody's trying to tank, but Jason, this is a team who says they have their quarterback in Desmond Ridder, so they are not trying to tank apparently. So this is kind of a flip of our last teams, the Atlanta Falcons. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, they were kind of working with two wide receivers last year, right? Like Marcus Mariota.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, quarterbacks.
You said two wide receivers. I was
like, sorry, quarterbacks.
Of course.
Thank you. They were struggling. They were circling through two quarterbacks. God, what was my train of thought? I had it.
How many beers have you had, Jason?
Man, you know what it is? I just got beers on my mind. I got my mind on some beers and beers on my mind. But work is more important tomorrow. It's 5:30 in the morning. Okay, yeah. So they were dealing with two quarterbacks last year. Marcus Mariota was the first. He gave it a go. Then Ridder came out. Either way, they didn't do great, right? They were at the bottom of the league. They were 31st. The only team that was worse than them was the Chicago Bears, who was one of the most run-heavy teams. Atlanta Falcons was one of them too, so they didn't pass much. It's a crazy number, Tyler, but they only did 158 yards per game through the air.
I know this because I was all about Tyler Algier. He was on my waiver wire show, and I'm always like, oh, the Falcons, they have more rushing yards than passing yards, so maybe you should get Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
And plus, if you were a Kyle Pitts owner, you know that as well.
Man, this was a year where, I really focused a lot on football just because of the podcast. We got to make it the best it could be. Woo, woo! And watching just Kyle Pitts, and I would see that like a lot of, we made these comments a lot in past episodes when we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons and like Marcus Mariota. You said it in like one of your videos, Tyler, that Marcus Mariota was like 10 out of 10 throwing it to Kyle Pitts' feet. He just kept.
That's hilarious. Did I say that?
Yeah, not that way. I added a little bit of
Damn.
But you were just like talking about like, yeah, he let the throw to his feet a lot, and it's just like, well, that's not Kyle Pitts' fault, but he is he's suffering from it, and it's also damaging fantasy managers who drafted him, which sucks. I don't think it's his fault. And then you just had a quarterback thrown in there at the end of the year where it's just like, hey, do what you want. We'll try to get some wins. Drake London, I believe he got more targets there at the end. That really benefited him. I think Drake London is a good player. He's a power player. He just needs to get the. You don't think so? You don't think he's a power player? I'm biased, dude. I'm biased, Tyler. He USC boy,
I know. He just reminds me of a Mike Evans, but at the same time, like so he got hyper targeted in the beginning of the season, and then just like forgotten about by Marcus Mariota. And then as soon as Desmond Ritter went in there, he got hyper targeted again. As long as he's getting hyper targeted, I really like him. But yeah, dude, like I'm just like looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, man, this is just like what I was talking about earlier. Where like when you have a they just invested so much into defense, bare minimal into offense, Jason. So it's like they're happy with their offensive pieces right now. They like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Algier. I have heard about people talking about them drafting, Bijan Robinson or whatever the hell it is. But I really like Tyler Algier. This Arthur Smith is from the Titans, who just ran out of the ball.
And
so it's yeah.
And he's continuing that pattern. They want to run the ball. They have they have one of the worst passing offenses in the league, but I think it's just because they focus more on running the ball. I mean, look, the outside of Cordell Patterson last year, they were just trying to run the ball. He was getting hurt again. They just, Marcus Mariota, he was a running quarterback. He would get in there every now and then. They just focus on running the ball.
And it's good that you brought him up, Jason, Cordell Patterson, because I think that's why they want another running back. Or people think they want another running back is because, like, dude, Tyler Algier was getting 15, 20 yards or 50 carries a game, 15 to 20 carries a game anyways. And then Cordell Patterson eventually ended up getting injured. And he's like 32 or 33. He's pretty old. So yeah. I mean, it's just there's so much volume. And the guy behind them, the third dude that people talked about picking him up on waivers.
It was like Huntley.
Huntley, yeah, thank you. Caleb Huntley, I think.
Yeah,
he is not. He's a third down back at best. They almost need 2 1s in that offense, and so yeah, they're gonna have to address that via draft. And so I can see why people are saying that. Damn, dude, I just had somebody in my head. Can't remember what it was.
I don't know, but so yeah.
Jonnu Smith, Jason. Jonnu Smith is only 28 years old. They paid that fool. And so it's like, what do we say about about rookie quarterbacks and all the young quarterbacks? Tight ends, running game, defense.
Best friends.
So it's like, dude, they invested heavy in defense. They got another tight end. If you're Kyle Pitts, do I draft Kyle Pitts? Where do I draft Kyle Pitts, man? Like, oh my God, where do I draft Kyle Pitts? Jonnu Smith is like 28 years old and hyper athletic. Like, what the hell am I doing here?
They have to bring him in just to kind of break out the potential stardom in Kyle Pitts.
I was thinking Desmond Ritter, or maybe they do want somebody to push him. Like, hey, dude, but I don't think it's Kyle Pitts' fault. It's like I would like to see Kyle Pitts get hyper targeted and not deliver, for it to be his fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that Kyle Pitts has been a victim of that offense.
I 100% agree with you. What are the chances you think Kyle Pitts could be like a bounce back player next year?
Low.
Very low.
Yeah, same. Everything's the same. So it's like, what's changed? He is entering his third year, which is the breakout year for tight end, and I like that. At the same time, Arthur Smith is going to run the hell out of the ball, and Desmond Ritter doesn't make me think that they're going to throw the ball a ton. And Drake London is already the guy, and now they've got Jonnu Smith on top of this. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to invest anything high. Like, I'd rather have Dallas Goedert than Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The right tackle, we got him to resign, Caleb McGarry. They got a backup quarterback from the Commandeers, Taylor Heineke.
Commandeer.
And then Tyler, they also got wide receiver Matt Collins from the Raiders.
Yeah. Pat Trammell. Shout out Pat Trammell.
Patty Pat. Yeah.
He probably owned Matt Collins last year. I think Matt Collins is on waivers most of the year.
I think you just gotta. He's a pick plug pray, right? You pick him.
Dude, 93% of snaps, 94% of snaps for Oakland last season. I really can't believe they got rid of him because it's like it was just him and Devontae Adams to begin with. So now what are you doing?
Yeah.
They've got what's his name? That little white dude that's gonna that Hunter Renfrow. I mean, So they've got him for the middle of the field, but other than that, and they got rid of their tight end. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. They got rid of him.
Yeah, I know. And now I see on tiers Darren Waller's actually moved up as a Giants tight end, but
No thanks.
goodbye.
Good riddance.
Sorry for your luck, boy. Well, what about what do you think of what do you think on the other side? I'm pretty done with the offense. I don't think there's really a lot of players you could get. I do like Tyler Ward and Tyler Algier as fantasy people to get, because they're going to run the heck out of the ball. You know that. Drake London, I do like him. Just do not get him early whatsoever, please.
If I was young, I bet I could get 4 yards that first carry, but that would be the one carry in my NFL career. My knees would touch each other, and then I'd be like, oh my God, that was like an explosion between my knees. I'm out of here.
So she said, I think what I would do would be like, I would sign a contract for 1 year. I'm like, I just want 1 year contract. But I want a guaranteed $1 million. Guaranteed $1 million.
Hey, man, if they handed the ball off to you, Jason, in the Eagles offense, you'd be guaranteed 1 yard.
Yes.
Every single time. I would bet money that you'd get 1 yard every single carry.
I appreciate that, but I would also fake an injury in the warm-ups and say my career's over with. But I would retire since I already have the $1 million guarantee, and I would never have to take a hit from a big old alignment in my life. That would be my game plan. Anyway,
I don't remember what we were talking about.
I'm just saying that, like, Drake London is a possibility that you can get him, but do not get him early. Get him later.
Oh, defense, what we're talking about, Jason.
Yeah, so on defense, they actually got one of the top free agents this year, and he's
a whole
safety.
Bunch.
Yeah, Jesse Bates the third, safety, 26 years old. They got him from the Bengals to help out that secondary.
You never want to pay a safety these days. He's making $16 million a year, so I mean, like, they can afford that because Desmond Ridder. That's a luxury that they have right now. They're just going to pay whatever. So it's like, that's not a terrible signing for them because of that. And he's 26 years old. But man, dude, they got Jeff Okudah. You know, he was the Lions ace like 2 years ago, had a terrible season last season, and now he's, you know, out. They picked up, Lions are picking up cornerbacks left and right. They're going to draft cornerbacks left and right. They're not going to miss him. But dude, I think that he could be a good pickup for the right team. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Didn't they just trade for him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
That's the guy they traded for. Okay,
and I thought that was huge. They picked up, 11. They paid almost $12 million a year. I just spit on this microphone. HD, baby. David Onyemata or whatever.
Yeah,
dude. Bud Dupree from the Titans. When the Titans picked up Bud Dupree, that was a huge signing for them. And he's kind of like, he's older. He's 30 years old, but man, put him in the right. He's going to be next to that. God, dude, I can't remember who the stud linebacker is for the Falcons, especially because of Super Bowl. Remember that?
Yeah, wasn't it White?
No, man. Like, oh, God. He was awesome. Oh, my God. Why can't I remember this fool's name?
I thought it was White. Didn't White play for the Falcons and then he went to the Buccaneers?
Maybe.
And now the guy wants to trade? Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, but I don't think he's a God. He was a hero in the he was the best defensive player in the Deion Jones, man.
Deion Jones. That's what I was saying.
28 years old. He's on the Browns. Holy crap. So he's not there anymore. I was like, this shows how much. I'm sorry, Falcons fans. I'm sorry, Jaguars fans. Like, dude, I know your skill positions, but when we get in deep, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
There's hundreds of names going through our mind, our head.
But I'm being serious. Like, I want to learn these teams in and out, and like, I'm going to dive deep into the offensive lines here in a minute. That's going to be my next. I want to really make a good offensive line list, Jason, before we get into the offseason, until we get to the August. But
yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we just started this last year. Jason and I are experts in fantasy football as far as like skill positions and everything else. But it's going to take us a minute to be experts in the NFL as far as every single player and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's going off of that? Another big body that they got from the Ravens.
Sorry,
No, you're fine. Was Calais Campbell from the Ravens? That dude
dude.
is 36 years old, but you know
I'm
what?
dude,
Honestly, I would still want him on my team.
he's like 6'7", 300 and
Yes,
something
that's
pounds.
a big boy. That's a big boy.
37 years old. Yeah, interior defensive lineman. So I can't believe he actually. Yeah, I forgot that he went to the Ravens. You know, you thought that he would have excelled with the Ravens. Last time he did well, he was with the Jaguars. Um, but yeah, I mean, just having a tall ass dude in there to bat down some balls and to lead this, like, this team needs. They're trying to build a defense, obviously, and like if he could just be like he doesn't need to be the star, but if he could be like a role player, I think he could be really good.
Yeah, they made a lot of. Looks like they had quite a few changes in the secondary. You know, they already got the safety. Then they got Mike Hughes from uh the Lions. They lost Isaiah Oliver to San Francisco. Michael Ford, he went to Cleveland. Yeah, it looks like right now they were also, Tyler, I think one of the worst teams last year. They were 25th. They gave up 231 passing yards a game last year. So they really need to find somebody that could get to the quarterback, put some pressure on him, and make some plays like in the secondary.
Jason, we forgot such an important player.
Who?
Chris Lindstrom. Did we talk about that fucker or that fool? cut. Look at my fingers.
Yeah. Wait, who are you talking about?
Dude, this fool, 26 years old, almost 100% of snaps, right? He's a right guard, Chris Lindstrom. They re-signed him. He's now making $20 million, $21 million a year as a right guard, Jason.
Sounds like he deserves it.
I was just like, I saw this. Sorry, Jason. I was like, oh my God, how would you not talk about this guy?
He deserves it, man.
13, man. We have to make it 13 somehow.
I
went so long without saying.
I think in the movies you're allowed one F-bomb to make it PG-13. Right?
If you see a glitch in the Matrix, because they cuss.
Wow, that was. Did we talk about that?
You just cut it out, man. Like 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, he was one of the big anchors in that offensive line last year to help with
Sorry.
run game. No, you're fine. I'm lost now.
All right, beat writers, Jason, you ready for this?
Yes.
So you have the number one, dude. It's so funny. This was written before this. This was January 17th, so this was before free agency and all this crazy stuff. And I want to tell you this, Jason. The Falcoholic.com.
Oh, that's awesome.
I really appreciate when these guys have like their own websites, you know, and they're fun. Because I literally look for the coolest name.
Yeah.
This one was like the number one Google match, and it was a cool name. So, so you have Grady Jarrett. I know he's awesome. Taquan Graham coming off a significant injury, and Timothy Horn is pretty much it. So you have Jarrett and you have Deion Jones just left. They really want another defensive line star, Jason. So, either an edge rusher or an interior defensive lineman. They don't care. They just want to get some pressure up in there.
Well, that's where you could get the big body of Calais Campbell in. Take that driving force and push him back. Hold the line.
What happens when what happens when a movable force meets an immovable object? That's the Joker. I don't know how to do a Joker voice. You remember that, Jason? That was like a line a couple times off of that movie.
Yeah, I think he's telling that to Batman.
He is telling that. Who else would he be telling?
Denton. Harvey Dent.
I'm just a dog outside on a leash. Oh.
I don't know what I'm doing. When I see a car, I just run. Yeah. Great movie.
And then he goes back and he's like, why don't you go kill the Joker? He's the one you want. He's just a dog off his leash.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Harvey Denton.
Yeah.
So easily subdued. Anyways, Jason,
You gave it all.
Safety.
It was sorry.
What are you gonna say?
Haven't you given Gotham everything?
Not everything.
I don't know what.
Not everything. Not yet.
Not everything. Not yet.
Until my life.
Okay.
Okay, Jason, reset. Nobody's gonna watch this anyways. If you watch this, please like and subscribe or leave a comment, man. For God's sakes, and you got this far, so we know.
For the love of God, please.
For the love of God.
Rachel.
Yeah. All right, safety, Jason, is there next up?
Right, they got that with Jesse. They got that with Jesse. Jesse Bates the third, so they're good with safety.
So there you go. So right off the bat, Jason, if you are a Falcoholic, you should be happy. They address their top 2 needs right off the bat. Boom. Next up, outside linebacker, Jason. A Bigatai has promise, and so does D'Angelo Malone, but 2 quiet years in a row, the Falcons are clearly like Ogundiji as their key reserve. So it's like they've got a bunch of like reserves, man. Look at these people's. There's 2 people's names that were hard to pronounce right there. I'm just going off of it.
That's why I'm glad you were the one reading it. Well, they did get Caden Elise from the Saints as an outside linebacker.
There you go. And he was good because Saints like them some defensive linemen.
And also Bud Dupree.
And that Bud. Woo, 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 woo.
Free.
All right. Quarterback. Next up. Woo!
Really? I thought, so the beat writers are like, we need to get a quarterback, but the coaches are like, we have our quarterback.
Corner.
Oh, corner. Yeah.
AJ Terrell, Casey Hayward, D. Alford, I guess, like Alford. But yeah, anyways, it's just nobody that really stands out. They lost Lattimore, I think, is to safety, but they just can't rely on Lattimore. When Lattimore is out, their back end is terrible. So
talking about from the Saints, Marcus Lattimore?
Yeah.
Cornerback. This is the Falcons.
Damn, dude.
We're almost done.
Not since Deion Sanders, if they had a cornerback. Get them a quarterback. They need to match the Saints with Marcus Lattimore. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that makes it. They need to get their shutdown corner.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I agree with you, Tyler. They need that shutdown cornerback, just like the Saints do, and Marcus Lattimore.
Having one sober person is a godsend, Jason.
Fuck it out.
You and I probably would have been talking about the Saints for the next 10 minutes.
I know. And then be like, all right, everybody, well, we got the Falcons coming up. Tyler's already prepared for it. He already wrote the name in the back. I don't know when, but look, stay tuned. We got the Falcons coming up. Let's go repeat ourselves.
All right, man. Next up, inside linebacker. And lastly, so much depends on whether Mikael Walker or Troy Anderson are going to be counted on to start. So blah, 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 blah. They need depth. It's all about depth, dude. This team had like a Super Bowl caliber defense for a minute, and all that went off. And Arthur Smith is your head coach. He's coming from Mike Vrabel. He wants a good defense and just run the ball a bunch. He doesn't really care about offense that much, obviously, even though he was the offensive coordinator, which is kind of funny. I think he's more of a defensive offensive coordinator. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's funny that this is like something that people are really targeting too, because this is not a very there's not a lot of offense in this division. So I think it's like you would figure if you already have your defensive players set good, but if you could work on that offense to just like outscore the other offense, because there's going to be, I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but there's no offense.
Yeah.
There's no offense. It's just funny that they're like focusing on defense when there's no offense in this division.
You know what I want to say, Jason, is that they have a good chance to like. I mean, I do think that the Panthers and the Saints are going to be better than them. That's a crappy thing.
Yeah, I think
but they are not tanking. You know, like what was the other team in this division that's going to tank?
the Buccaneers.
Oh, the Saints. I think the Saints might be like, I think they might just be doing just enough. But the Buccaneers are definitely tanking.
So you think it's going to come down to the Panthers and Atlanta?
Yeah, but Derek Carr's got no quit in him. You know, he's got no quit. Quit ain't it? And that ain't Derek Carr.
He's like it's like oh my October Sky, man. He doesn't he doesn't want to go in the coal mines. He wants to fly rockets. Derek Carr doesn't want to go to the oil fields. He wants to throw some pigskin around. He's got to do this so he doesn't have to go home beating oil fields.
Oh. I can't tell you the last time I heard an October Sky reference.
Yeah. He didn't want to
Great
go.
movie, man. If you haven't watched that movie, go watch it. Go cry. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
SpaceX, baby. Woo! All right. So that's it for this. We're gonna be back soon, people. I know you miss us.
Very soon.
And we're gonna be doing a draft special. We're gonna go over the quarterbacks and the tight ends. I've already done the quarterbacks work, and now I need to do the tight end work over my anniversary weekend. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I gotta go into the tight ends because I've done the quarterback and the wide receivers. That was before you decided quarterback and tight ends.
That was all me. I said, Jason, F you, dude. I don't need your S. The D. My D. That's it. Woo! All right, guys. So, can you hear me, Jason?
Yeah. Did you not see what I was doing? Do you not? You don't even have me on here, dude.
Oh, you're out of focus, man. I wonder how long you've been out of focus for.
Ever since I was doing this.
When were you doing that?
When you were sitting there chatting about something.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm really out of focus. Oh, damn. I just ruined this whole thing. We're going to have to redo it.
Your fingers look good. Oh, there you are.
I'm back. All right. Let's end this thing, man. It's going to be another 2 hours.
Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Like, seriously. And, like, if you can make any alternate accounts, Smurfs, or whatever you want to call it, you're that hardcore that you're listening to this, make it.
Support. Tyler, did you give a shout out to that one dude with that subscriber we got?
Damn it.
Pioneer Sunday.
What's his name?
Wasn't it like Pioneer Sunday?
Nope.
Well, I don't get them. Oh, here, I think you sent me a picture.
I've got it. Oh, damn it. Oh. What was it? Division. Something division, I thought.
Didn't you send it to me? Here, I'll get it right here.
It is Panzer Division.
Panzer Division.
Thank you so much, Panzer. That's an amazing name. Also, I'm at 18. Oh, we already shouted out I'm at 18.
I'm at 18. I love that guy.
All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. And we will catch you on the flip side.
You on the dark side of the moon.